Is dry needling acupuncture? So get some clarification because there's lots of confusion, lots of misinformation about whether acupuncture, whether dry needling is acupuncture or not. So I'm an acupuncturist, Jimmy Yin, the Acu Sensei. I'm an acupuncturist. So you're probably going to get a lot of, you can say prejudice, or you're gonna think most acupuncturists are going to say dry needling is acupuncture. But if you ask a physical therapist, you ask a chiropractor that do dry needling, they're going to argue that dry needling is not acupuncture. And so, my goal here is to present the facts and leave out the emotions and leave out the prejudice, leave out the personal opinions, and just provide data and let you the consumer, the public, right? You decide whether dry needling is acupuncture or not. Right. So let's start with the argument from physical therapists and chiropractors about why dry needling is not the same as acupuncture, right? So I'm going to read a definition from a physical therapist website. They say dry needling, the reason why physical therapists and chiropractors believe that dry needling is not acupuncture because dry needling is based on human anatomy and the neurophysiological principles, while traditional acupuncture is based on traditional Chinese medicine. That is their argument of why dry needling is not acupuncture. Okay. So they say it's based off of human anatomy and neurophysiological principles. Okay. So here's the other side. Here's more of the information that physical therapists and chiropractors are not going to tell you, right? So they say traditional acupuncture is based on traditional Chinese medicine, which is accurate. They're 100% accurate, right? Their argument is that the theory of the principles of traditional Chinese medicine is only based off of what we call the word qi, right? And that's translated here in the U.S. as energy, and that's a whole nother discussion. It's really not energy; it's actually oxygen. But the translation, the argument is that traditional acupuncture is based off traditional Chinese medicine. But here's the thing: traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncturists here in the U.S., we go to school for 4 years, and what do we learn? Anatomy, physiology, right? How do we determine? And these are facts. This is not my opinion. How do we locate the points, the acupuncture points of where we choose, where to put the needles, acupuncture needles, right? It's based off of human anatomy, right? So it kind of debunks what they just said. Dry needling is based off of human anatomy. Well, so is traditional Chinese medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine is also based off of human anatomy and physiology, right? Because acupuncture moves blood circulation, right? Neurophysiology. How does acupuncture stimulate blood circulation? It's through the nervous system. So we also need to learn the nervous system, right? And the physiology, neurophysiology, right? So again, our traditional Chinese medicine is also based off of human anatomy and neurophysiological principles. Those are the same things we learn, just like physical therapists, right? Just like chiropractors, they learn. We learn the same thing going through acupuncture school, traditional Chinese medicine school. So, really, that definition from physical therapists is really describing Chinese medicine. So, dry needling, using their own definition, dry needling is acupuncture, right? So hopefully that provides some little more insight, right? So why is there all this debate? Different states, it's illegal for physical therapists and chiropractors to perform dry needling because different states recognize that dry needling is 100% acupuncture, right? And so why is there all this debate about what if dry needling is acupuncture or not, traditional acupuncture or not? Well, of course, it's a scope of practice debate. It's a scope of practice. I would say conflict, right? Physical therapists and chiropractors want to do acupuncture without a license. So I'll just talk about here in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas, in order to practice acupuncture, you need a license. You need to take a board exam. In order to take the board exam, you need to go over 4 years of education of traditional Chinese medicine, which includes anatomy and neurophysiological principles. You need to do 4 years of that. And then therefore, qualify to sit for a national board exam. And you need to pass all 5 parts of the board exam in order to practice acupuncture in the state of Texas. Now, physical therapists and chiropractors, some, I'm not saying all, they are allowed to take, they want to practice acupuncture without a license. Therefore, they change the word acupuncture into the word dry needling. So if they say they're doing dry needling, then it's no longer acupuncture, then they are not required to be licensed, right? So in the state of Texas, you can take a physical therapist and chiropractors can take a 2-day weekend course on dry needling and be able to practice acupuncture, right? There's obviously some debates and fights and legal lawsuits going on right now in the state of Texas in regards to that, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm just letting you know the facts of what's going on, at least here in the state of Texas, right? Every state is different in regards to dry needling rules, laws, but state of Texas, this is what's going on. And so, physical therapists who are not licensed acupuncturists, chiropractors who are not licensed acupuncturists, technically are practicing, and they claim that they're doing dry needling, are practicing acupuncture without a license. Um, but that's not for me to judge. And so, how does that influence the public, the safety of the public, right? So, if physical therapists are saying, hey, dry needling is within our scope of practice as a physical therapist in in Texas, let's think about it. They're using, guess what? An acupuncture needle. And they're using an acupuncture needle to penetrate the skin, whether it doesn't matter if it's into the muscle, it's still using a needle to penetrate the skin, and they're claiming that that is within their scope of practice. What's to prevent them from saying, hey, I treat muscle as a physical therapist, I treat musculoskeletal problems. I can now use a scalpel and penetrate the skin. That's also within my scope of practice. Why? Because I can use a needle to penetrate the skin. So why can't I use a scalpel to penetrate the skin? So are they going to create another word for surgery? Right? Are they going to be able to do orthopedic replace an orthopedic surgeon that goes through 8, 12 years of schooling to learn how to be a surgeon? This is the safety issues, the precedents that they're setting. If if the public allows physical therapists and chiropractors to practice dry needling without an acupuncture license, then pretty soon our chiropractors and physical therapists are going to be able to use a scalpel to penetrate the skin, right? Scalpel to penetrate the skin, right? And say, "Oh, it's not a scalpel. It's called dry scraping or something like that," right? They're going to use another word instead of using scalpel to surgeon. They're going to use dry crossing or something like that, right? Something ridiculous. It's the same thing, dry needling acupuncture, right? But it's for you to decide. Dry needling is using an acupuncture needle. It is an acupuncture needle, and it is penetrating the skin, right? Doesn't matter. Really, does it really matter what uh, principle that it's based off of? Even though the principles are the same, I've already discussed that. But let's just take away the principles. Someone who is putting a needle into your skin, penetrating your skin, into your muscle, hitting your nerve, right? And they're using the same tool called an acupuncture needle. Isn't that acupuncture, right? So again, these are the facts. Just want you, the public, to know these are the facts. Um, and yeah, it's for you, the public, to decide whether you want to support that or you don't, right? It's really up to you. So again, different rules, different states, different laws, but you to decide. And just wanted to share this information because there's a lot of misinformation, especially the one about dry needling. I just want to repeat, dry needling is based off of human anatomy and neurophysiological principles. So is traditional acupuncture, right? There are probably 100 different types of acupuncture, and many types. Every acupuncture technique style, like dry needling, is different, right? But it's all still acupuncture, right? As an acupuncturist, we select points based off of human anatomy and physiology. We perform treatments based off of neurophysiological principles as well, right? Many acupuncture techniques, for example, there's a technique called scalp acupuncture. It's based off the pattern of the brain. Isn't that human anatomy, right? And so again, just want to clarify, give you more data. You can believe either way. That is your decision. I'm not here to sway you left or right. Obviously, you can see I'm passionate about it when there's a lot of misinformation, right? Now, there are many physical therapists and chiropractors who actually went to acupuncture school and they actually went through the training and they actually did the board exams, national board exams, and were able to, and are licensed acupuncturists, right? Um, but let me give you another example. There are many countries around the world, not in the US, where chiropractic is not regulated. So, because chiropractic is not regulated in other countries around the world, there are people off the street that are practicing chiropractic. So, just think about that. Someone that's manipulating your neck, they haven't gone through the training that chiropractors go through in the US. They haven't taken the board exams that chiropractors do in order to get licensed, and they're manipulating people's spine all over the world. And so there's no protection for the public, right? Now, that is dangerous, but guess what? Millions of people off the streets are doing that around the world, doing chiropractic adjustments for people. And you can say, "Hey, they haven't had any issues. They haven't created any problems, right? So they should be able to do it, right?" So, what do you think about that, right? Because that's what's happening in the US in regards to acupuncture. So, um, vice versa, physical therapy, right? Many people that are not trained in physical therapy are providing physical therapy outside in different countries, right? Because it's not a regulated profession in some countries. And they're doing physical therapy for people, and they're successfully helping people too. They can say, "Oh, they're doing it physical therapy based off of traditional physical therapy medicine," or something like that, right? Would you be comfortable? Would you feel safe? It's up to you. Sorry, guys. I know I'm just rambling here, but I just wanted to give you that piece of information. Um, Comment below. Hey, if that makes sense. Disagree, agree. It's up to you, right? Hopefully, provided a more objective data instead of just saying, "Hey, it is acupuncture. Dry needling is acupuncture." I just gave you some facts. All right, guys. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing more of these live videos to give you information so that you are informed and that you can make an informed decision for your health and your family's health, right? I'm not here to make the decision for you. I'm not here to say, "Hey, don't go get dry needling from a physical therapist, chiropractor." That's not what I'm saying. I have many friends, great friends who are physical therapists and chiropractors. I love them, and I always collaborate with them because you need all different types of medicine, right? Hopefully, this channel can be a source of just objective data, not like how the news is these days. News that's being reported in the U.S. is paid for, right? None of this is paid for. This is all free information. No one's paying me to say, "Hey, argue against this point," and so forth, right? So, my goal is to give you this objective data. So hit the subscribe button. Get your friends and family to hit the subscribe button, and get ready for some more of these awesome live posts. All right, see you guys. Peace out.